Skin tone correction. And what I mean by that is the alteration of human skin in video to look normal, not some neo-Nazi racist bullshit. Now, upon saying that, let's categorize different people into different groups and assign them numbers. God damn it. Okay, let's start again. Skin tone correction refers to the act of altering the skin tone of your actors to make them look normal. We all have a preconception of what skin generally looks like. When skin looks overexposed, overly saturated, undersaturated, etc., it looks unnatural or frankly unhealthy. Everyone's skin, regardless of ethnicity, sits along the skin tone line. This line here on the vector scope. If you're unsure how to read the scope, check out this video. Inherently, skin is grey and given colour through the red blood beneath our skin. Luminance and saturation values are determined through lighting conditions and race and ethnicity, or the colour of someone's skin. Now, it is important to note that other than a hue angle for skin tones, there is no standard. So fix skin tones on a case-by-case basis. If the character is in sunlight, it might make sense to preserve the highlights a bit and leave them a little warmer. If the character is underneath a blue light, leave their skin blue or they will look out of place. Larry Jordan has a fantastic article on skin tone correction in a studio setting, which is great for a starting off point on this topic. That's essentially it on the theory side of things. So now I will move on to demonstrating a few tools you can use to fix or alter skin tones. For the sake of time, I'm not going to give it a complete rundown of an entire grading or correction process. Also note that the tools and methods I'm using are just one of like 60 bajillion different ways of doing things. And in the end, all that matters is the output. Different colorists have different workflows and conceptions of what color is. It's all about finding what works for you. Also, the next section focuses on Premiere tools, so if you're using different software, sorry. So the first tool, masks. Use this to isolate skin tones and more easily read them on scopes. Second tool, temperature and tint. Usually if skin tones are off, it's a white balance or tint issue. Just use the color picker to select a neutral grey or white object and it'll fix the temperature and tint for you. Or jam up the RGB parade, twiddle the temperature slider, which increases and decreases the red and blue channels, and the tint slider, which pushes the color towards green by increasing the green and decreasing the red and blue channels, or toward magenta by doing the inverse. And the third tool is the Lumetri HSL secondary panel. Functionally, it's almost identical to the three-way color corrector, just less precise in my opinion. Here we define a hue range, saturation range, and luminance range, and then any adjustments we make here will only affect the color ranges we just defined. So if I isolate the skin tones, I can alter exclusively their saturation, luminance, and hue. For luminance, you can use the shadows, midtones, and highlight sliders. For hue, any of the color wheels or temperature and tint sliders, and for saturation, the saturation slider. Skin tones and color in general really are an incredibly complex topic, and honestly, I struggled to write this video simply because I kept getting far too in depth. In terms of freely available literature, it's scarce relative to the other elements of video production and highly contradictory. Even writing this, I was constantly second-guessing myself. Regardless, I hope this was a decent enough bouncing board for you to go and explore the ever-exciting world of skin tone correction. Bye.